So this podcast is probably going to be an absolute fucking shambles because the original plan was for Alex to come around the day I'm recording this, and we recorded some stuff together, but things got in the way and he's not here and I'm all alone forever, just trying to record podcasts and making an absolute mess of them by myself. This is the last podcast I'm going to be recording in my house for some time. Because I'm moving to my new house, the one down at uni. So say goodbye to the old house. Like, this is coming out on the 1st of September, which is bizarre, but you know, we'll deal with that. Then I'm gonna have to have one out on the 8th, or a video out on the 8th, which is the day before I head off to move in. I move in on the 10th. Then obviously there's going to be one on the 8th, which is the weekend before I've moved in. Because I move in on the Monday. And then, you know, I start my course on the 17th. But yeah, I'll be in Worthing by the 10th. Well, I'll be settled in like sort of afternoon on the 10th, hopefully. And we'll be all set and ready to go, hopefully. Yes, so this podcast is going to be a fucking shambles, like I said, because I have no idea what I'm talking about. I was like, I can bullshit my way through a topic about comic book and video game film adaptations and how sometimes the switching between mediums doesn't really work well. And I might still do that, but I've got to think about a topic for a moment, so... But anyway, enough of my personal crap. Today we're talking about medium switching. Would you say, what the fuck's medium switching? Medium switching is probably not an actual term. It's what I'm using to describe when you take, like, basically video game films and comic book films. That's what I call medium switching, what I'm now calling medium switching. So obviously you have a comic book, which is one type of medium, and you switch it to... film, and that's a different type of medium. And comic book films are quite not easy to do, but they're easier than some genres. Like I think because of the style of a lot of comics, I don't mean all comics, but a lot of comics, I think they're relatively easy to do because they're quite action packed compared to some sort of forms of media. So you can quite easily get the bam and the pop, which is the thing, because comic books are very flashy, and so is the film industry, so that's probably why the film industry works so well with comic books. Obviously you have certain comic books that don't work as well, don't translate as well, such as Superman doesn't really seem to work that well, but that's not really a problem with the comic book medium to film. That's more a problem with Superman as a character, because when you look at Superman, I talked about it in my DC one. Superman as a character is so fickle because it depends on the writer, because he has no limit. He can be however strong or weak you want him to be. So that does make doing a comic about him very, doing a comic book film about him very awkward. Especially when you look at something like the DC universe, when you have such big heavy hitters like Darkseid, and a lot of filmmakers don't seem to be that interested in the comics, so they have the most rudimentary understanding of the characters, which makes them look cool, but doesn't make a film good. Because that's the thing, you can enjoy a comic book for just being cool, and you don't have to know pretty much anything about the characters. You can just go through and read it and go, oh, that's fucking cool, I like that. Like, I mean, that's probably how I started, because I mean, that's the thing. Comic books were the thing that got me back into reading, really. Like, I wasn't, I'd read a lot as a kid, and then I didn't read, and then I started reading comic books, and then I kind of reawoken? I don't fucking know. I sort of started to love reading again. But that's the thing, you can start with no prior knowledge and just pick up a comic book and go, oh, this is cool, this looks neat, and that's all you need. But the thing is, as soon as you try and translate that to a film, you sit and you watch this film and you go, well, that had no substance to it, that was just, it looks cool. That's the thing, because a comic book, even if you go for like one of the issues, like the volumes, instead of just one issue, if you go for a volume, that's doesn't take you that long. Like, I would get, because my library has like a limit of 12 things you can get out, So I could get 12 comics, and over a weekend I could be done. Hell, I could be done with like 7 or 8 of them in an afternoon. It doesn't take that long. But as soon as you say, oh, you have to invest, 2 solid hours of concentration and trying to keep track of the non-existent plot and the flat characters, see, it doesn't work. So a non-existent plot and flat characters, as long as you're looking at it and go, whoa, in a comic book, that's all you need. Because you can go, oh wow, that art style is really cool, and this character's kind of boring, but they're doing cool shit, so I don't care. So that's I think that's really why when you look at the way DC have handled it, is they've just gone, go for the cool looks, we'll worry about the plot later, whereas I think Marvel's gone for character and plot first. And I think they did that because they learned their lesson from something like Daredevil. You can look at it and you can say, well, it's not completely devoid of character. They've tried and kind of failed to create like a really good cohesive world and list of characters. It's just kind of boring. And Ben Affleck didn't particularly play Matt Murdock very well. It was kind of peh. Peh is a technical term I'll have, Obviously everyone said, oh no, not Ben Affleck for Batman. And I was like, oh no, fucking give the guy a chance. Because, we did all want to see Christian Bale back, because Christian Bale did a really fucking good Batman. But the thing is, he did a very good dark Batman, which is, everybody, you have a lot of comic book purists who say, well, look at the Dark Knight trilogy and how obviously it's not, people who made it didn't know the comics. And I'm sat there like, you don't need to know the comics. Like people say, these 4 I think I mentioned it in the last one, these 4 comics are the ones that everyone always reads when it comes to Batman. And they're good, damn good comics, but they don't give you an accurate representation of what Batman is. That's the thing, when you look at the list, they're all quite dark. And for something like the Dark Knight trilogy, that is perfect. It's so out of the way of like the original Dark Batman sort of character and series. It doesn't matter if it's not that accurate, and to be honest, the ones that they obviously read are very similar to the sort of theming that they went for. But anyway, medium switching or medium mashing, I don't know what I fucking called it, I've already forgotten. Let's call it medium mashing, because that's fucking funny. At least fair, medium mashing would be like a mixed media art piece, so let's maybe not call it that, because that's probably not a good idea. I'm going to have to pull that bit of thing out, so I can separately compress and amplify it. Fuck. And equalize. Now the equalization can be done, because that's just frequencies. It's the compression that's got to be done separately on that. It'll be fine. Anyway, yes. I have no experience with the Judge Dredd comics or whatever the fuck they were actually, because I know Judge Dredd was like where you had DC and you had Detective Comics and Action Comics. I think it's like that. I can't remember exactly what I don't fucking know, but I don't know anything about the Judge Dredd comics, so I don't know how accurate it is to it. Apparently, like stylistically speaking, it's very accurate. I mean, I thought it was actually a pretty good film. I mean, I say pretty good film, pretty good for a Sly Stallone film, because you sort of watch his films and there's not ever a massive amount of plot to it. It's a very simplified plot, and his characters always seem to be fairly one note. A lot of the other characters always seem to be very well fleshed out. Like you look at, I guess Expendables is not a good example of what I was just talking about. Expendables is exactly the opposite, because Expendables is every action movie cliche ever. Okay, forget Expendables. Never seen Rocky, so I don't know anything about that. I know it's a fucking sacrilege, isn't it? But I don't think I've even seen Rambo. I'm missing out on a lot. But no, I think from what I can... But I think it's sort of a lot better than some of his other stuff. Like for having more developed characters. Well, no, not more developed, more interesting characters because of the universe itself. And it seems to have a lot of the same characters, apparently, so that's good. I think there are a couple of characters that really could have done with a little bit more development. But, you know, it's as a medium bashing, that's what we call it. Medium bashing. As medium bashing goes, it's not the worst offender. For example, the worst offender would be something like Dragon Ball Evolution, which was an abhorrent mess. And I don't even watch Dragon Ball. I fucking hate that film because it's so boring and stupid. Oh my god. And, you know, stupid when it comes to me. I like Wild Wild West. That's, you know, I recognise that that's a stupid film, but I find it funny because it is a little bit stupid. But Dragon Ball Evolution wasn't even funny because it's stupid, it was just fucking stupid. No, Dragon Ball Evolution is just fucking stupid. It's one of those ones you look at it and it's like, I can feel myself losing IQ points watching this. And I know that, and I haven't watched it for a good God knows how many years. I watched it once, ages ago, and it was terrible. Like my little, whatever, 9-year-old, let's just say I was 9. My 9-year-old mind thought it was alright. But, you know, I can look back on that and say, no, that was horseshit. That was literal horseshit. Like, you could have presented me with a 1-hour documentary talking about, you know, animal excrement and its uses around the farm, and I probably would have preferred to watch that, although I felt that could be quite interesting. So, again, maybe that's a bad example, but you know what I mean. Again, when you look at the Lara Croft films, I don't know what the new one's like. I have no idea what the new Lara Croft film is like. So, see, it got a fair amount of hype, and then it just kind of released, and I haven't heard anything about it since. But the old Lara Croft films with Angelina Jolie in it, those were actually pretty fucking good. I won't take any shit from anyone. Those were quite good. I will fucking fight you. But no, it's the sort of thing... I think there's a certain sentimental attachment to it for me, because it's sort of something that me and my family used to watch like together, and it was just kind of fun. It was just a fun thing to watch. Because, you know, it's kind of... There's a story. It's like an action film with story to it, but, you know, cool female lead. So, you know, that's fucking, you know, inclusion. Although, to be fair, I don't think either of the films passes the Bechdel test. Let's have a look. Now, if you've never heard of the Bechdel test, it's basically a way of measuring if films are inclusive enough for women. So let's actually have a look at the Bechdel test. Bechdel test. Ugh. Oh fuck, I spelled it wrong. Okay. Bechdel test is a method for evaluating the portrayal of women in fiction. It asks whether a work features at least 2 women... Oh, yeah, okay. So it needs to have at least 2 women in it that talk to each other about something other than a man. Does Tomb Raider pass the Bechdel test? Does the Bible pass the Bechdel test? I don't... The 2018... Oh, so the 2018 one... Shit, that passed all 3. So the new Tomb Raider definitely passed. Oh, fuck. Yeah, no. Lara Croft Tomb Raider 2001 passed 0 of the 3 things of the Bechdel test. There you go. So not very good for inclusivity. Besides Lara... Oh, someone... Okay, comment. Besides Lara Croft, the other females appearing in the movie are all unnamed, e.g. Little Cambodian Girl, Little Inuit Girl, Shocked Maid. Oh yeah, because it has to have at least 2 named women in it. That's it. Yeah, so Cradle of Life. This one, so Cradle of Life passed all 3, but only just. Because, well, no, if you disregard the named women part, then it does. On the one thing that Lara Croft speaks to mother, father, daughter and son, so obviously it's 2 women, and asks to borrow their TV while speaking directly to the daughter. So she's speaking to them about borrowing a TV, so that's something other than a man, but they still don't pass the Bechdel test because they're unnamed. I think a lot of the games do by the looks of it. Someone did a quick thing of how many bits of the Bechdel. Obviously, the Bechdel test isn't be all and end all of it. Bechdel test only sort of gives you a rough idea of whether or not something is inclusive. They are good films, and I would say they're potentially quite good interpretations of the films that they had up until 2001 and 2004. Potentially quite good for that. But anyway, yes. I need to think of another form of media I can talk about. Books. There we go. Again, unpopular opinion. The first Harry Potter book is pretty shit. It's okay if you're 11 or younger, because I read them ages of fucking go. There's only 2 of the Harry Potter books I haven't read, which is Order of the Phoenix and Deathly Hallows. You'd say, wait, why the fuck would it not be Half-Blood Prince and Deathly Hallows? The answer is because I couldn't fucking get into Order of the Phoenix. It was just so boring. Although, to be fair, it was so boring when I was like 9. So I'd probably read it now and say, this is boring, but in a different way. It's just nothing's really happening for a bit, and then stuff happens, which is my original complaint. But at least I could actually find some sort of enjoyment out of all the early chapters. So yeah, I skipped straight to Half-Blood Prince, and then for some reason I just never read the last one. But no, I got back round and I read the first one. And it's so shit. So I would actually call the film, in my opinion anyway, it's a much better interpretation. So it's a very graceful medium bash. Because I can rewatch the original. I can rewatch Philosopher's Stone again and again and again. But you fucking give me the book, and I might actually burn it. I might genuinely do it. It's unlikely, but I might. There are certain cases in which you can't do a graceful medium bash. For example, when you look at The Dark Tower, a lot of people complained about how different the film was to the books. Now, I haven't read the books, so normally I would say, well, I am in no position to actually make any sort of comments on this. However, I do know that there are 9 books. It's a fucking big series. It would be trying to take all 9 books and turn them into one cohesive film would be equivalent to, you'd probably end up with something as long as the extended cut of Fellowship of the Ring. I haven't sat through the extended cut. I didn't even know my sister had it until I saw it in her year 2 uni room. I'm like, what the fuck's that? Oh, extended cut of Lord of the Rings. I'm like, how the fuck long is that? 4.5 hours. There you go. If you want The Dark Tower to be as accurate as possible, it'll be 4.5 hours long. Instead, it's like 1 hour and 45. And no, I guess that means it's not a graceful medium bash, but it's a sensible one. It's from a laywoman's perspective. I quite enjoy The Dark Tower. I watched it and I had fun. It was good. I think there are a couple of bits that were a bit kind of boring, but there are a couple of bits it's like, you could have done better. But when you look at it, it was good fun to watch, and that's all I really wanted out of it. I looked at The Dark Tower and said, "Oh, looks like it would be good fun. I'll watch that. That looks like it would be good fun." Now, anime films. Ooh, hot topic. Okay, probably unpopular opinion. I kind of liked the Full Metal Alchemist film, the live action Full Metal Alchemist film. I kind of liked it. Not a great deal, because it didn't fucking finish anywhere near the right place. They skipped a whole load of shit. But again, you try and, contract Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood into one live action film. It's not gonna fucking work. I have no idea what the Bleach film was like. I fucking need to watch that. I need to find it, because I don't think it's going to be released over here. Same with the Tokyo Ghoul live action film. I was waiting for that for so long. I don't think it's going to be released anywhere except Japan. We might get a DVD version of it over here in a couple of years, but I can't wait that long. I want to fucking watch it. I want to watch both of them. But yeah, I heard that the Bleach live action adaptation was damn good. I think a lot of people actually described it as basically, a breath of fresh air for anime live action films because it did so well. They didn't try and overdo it, they didn't underdo it. But yeah, no, the Fullmetal Alchemist live action film I kind of liked. There was definitely a lot left to be desired, but when you consider how much everybody fucking hates live action anime films, I thought it was quite good. And when you compare it to something like Dragon Ball Evolution, it's like, no, this is quite good. So this is going to be the last podcast from my current house. I don't know if I already said that, probably did. Next podcast will be from my new rented house, and I think that one might be something about university and preparing for it adequately and the sort of things you should need within the first few weeks, because I can record basically whenever. So because obviously currently I'm waiting for times when I'm alone at home, so I can basically just sit in one room and not have anyone interrupt me at any point. Like it's not I need to record when no one else is here. It's just easiest because it means I get the least amount of interruptions. So I can record that pretty much whenever. So I can, with a topic like what you'll need to know for the first few weeks, or first 2 weeks pretty much, because that'll take me up to the 31st. Yeah, so I'll have like an extra week to record and edit that. That's cool. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, I'll have like 2 weeks and I can say, hey, here's what you need. And also I have like a week. I don't have like a week alone. So I have like about half a week alone in my new house. So that'll give me some time to say, hey, here are the things that you will need, that you will forget. And that sort of thing I can... Obviously, my course isn't the same as everybody else's because of the nature of prop design and special effects. It's not an academic course in the slightest. So I can't tell you anything about your course specifically. I can say, hey, here are some general tips. But anyway, I have some stuff to do. I'm going to go out for a run later, so I need to go prep for that. Because otherwise I'm going to fucking kill myself, pull a muscle, collapse in agony on a bike track behind Sainsbury's. It's not technically a bike track, it is just a track behind Sainsbury's where everybody fucking cycles down it. So I'm going to call it a bike track. Anyway, yes, I have to go. I'm very glad that I don't end these properly because I think it's just funnier if I just kind of cut it